The U.S. Federal Reserve expected to maintain its benchmark interest rate at tomorrow's meeting, but it's likely the chair will be questioned about a legal case against him. Let's go to Dennis Lockhart, American economist, former CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of Atlanta. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me on.
What's your take? Is the rate where it should be right now for the U.S.?
Yeah, I would be very surprised if there was a further cut tomorrow. I think they signaled in December that they're comfortable with the positioning of policy, probably for a few meetings even. They feel that they can wait and see how the economy evolves and obviously follow inflation as well as employment very closely. So I'd be very surprised if there was a further policy action tomorrow.
Do you feel that labor concerns have been put to rest, at least for now?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question.
Do you feel labor concerns have been put to rest, at least for now?
Major concerns?
Labor concerns, sorry, labor concerns.
Labor concerns?
Yes.
I think the labor market is fairly static at the moment. Unemployment is at an acceptable level of 4.4%. It's been slowing in terms of job creation. Much of that job creation has been in healthcare. But at the same time, it's not unraveling. It's not falling apart. And people are basically maintaining their employment. Claims are low. So I think the overall assessment is the employment market is sufficiently healthy to go on hold for this meeting at least, and perhaps more.
What about inflation? Do you feel that inflation is in a range now where Americans aren't feeling too much pressure for prices?
No, I would not say that.
Okay.
We do have sort of a split economy. That's a bit simplistic, but split between affluent households and those households that are struggling month to month to get by. And that's a big portion of the population in the United States. And those people are feeling the cost of living and feeling the cost particularly of housing and groceries. So it's not necessarily a let's just say a single picture. The U.S. consumer continues to be quite active, and the consumer economy is going well. But I would not say that people can ignore the inflation rate that they're experiencing personally.
What about the threat of the government shutdown? What is your best guess on if one can be avoided, and how do you think that'll factor in later in the year, if there is one?
Well, I'm not following the play-by-play on Capitol Hill on this, but it is looming as a possibility. One recent article said it could be a partial shutdown, not a complete shutdown. We'll see how it plays out. But let me answer your question by saying it is one more factor in the first quarter of this year that will make it difficult, I think, for economists and for Fed staff to really evaluate the underlying strength of the first quarter economy. The first quarter is often a little bit odd because of weather and what they call residual seasonality. But if you add the possible shutdown to that, you could have a first quarter like last year that's weak, but then it's followed by strong quarters afterwards. So it's one more reason why I think the committee will be patient for a while before making any further policy decisions.
What commentary are you going to be listening for when you anticipate that there won't be a cut? What are you going to listen for from the chairman?
Well, the chairman's in all likelihood going to get a number of questions in the press conference about the Department of Justice investigation, maybe about the Lisa Cook proceedings at the Supreme Court last week. I think he's going to try his best to evade all those questions and say very little. And as regards the economy and policy, again, I'm not sure the committee is going to have a great deal to say. This could be, in some respects, a sort of boring meeting from the point of view of the public communication. because they are unlikely to cut rates. They're probably going to describe the economy as continuous with the fourth quarter of last year and reinforce the wait and see message. So I think there is not a great deal to say, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the outcome tomorrow.
Okay, we will wait and see. Dennis Lockhart, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.